Good morning. Good morning. I want to help ensure that today becomes a day that you never forget. We're all challenged, of course, with the passage of time. We think back, what did I do Monday? What did I do Tuesday? And too often, one day blends into the next. But there's a secret that Abraham taught us thousands of years ago that God actually tells Isaac in a dream in this week's Torah portion that helped Abraham and actually can help each and every one of us transform each day into a day that is worthy of future memory. And let me tell you what God said about Abraham and the way he led his life. God says to Isaac, I loved Abraham your father because, number one, he followed my ways. And here Nachmanides points out, when it talks about certain ways that he followed, the Torah describes them as chukim. Normally we associate those which are ways of God that we don't understand, a mitzvah that is beyond human understanding. But here Nachmanides says that to Abraham's credit, he walked in my ways. He was a kind person. He was forgiving. He made sure to give of himself to everybody that he met. But it's a very odd way of describing something which is counterintuitive. The truth is, being kind is something that we all understand. So why does God believe that Abraham saw this as something which was sometimes counterintuitive? One of the commentaries points out something extraordinary about the way that Abraham led his life. Oftentimes we have opportunities that come to us. It could be somebody that we see in the street. It could be an email that we get. It could be something that we think about and we say, you know what, I really should talk to this person. I really should call this person. And then for whatever reason, we say to ourselves, well, I'm a little bit too busy. I'll get to it. But we all know that what happens is we sometimes never get to it. And we have to seize the moment at that time. Abraham led a life of perpetual kindness. Even when he felt he may not have had time for something, the recipient potentially may not have been deserving of his kindness because of something that person said in the past. He said, if there is a moment in time when I can share a little bit of my light and activate kindness in the world, then I have to do it in this instant. And the secret to recognizing those opportunities is at the very beginning of the verse. Isaac is told by God, I loved Abraham because he was perpetually kind, but also because he heard my voice. How many of us have heard voices of God? Now, the truth is, God has not come down to me lately and said, I want you to do this. I don't know if he's come to you like that. But what it means to hear the voice of God, and King David said this very beautifully, that every encounter that I have, every conversation, every instant when I receive something from somebody or see something in my vision, God is saying, I'm here. Reveal the light in that particular moment. And if we see God as being everywhere, King David says in the book of Psalms, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. God is in front of me always. A cashier at the supermarket. I see somebody who I'm walking along and I make a decision to say hello to them. I get an email of somebody who I need a little bit of strength. And I don't just ignore it, but I say, God is speaking to me in this moment. And then I respond in a positive way. Then I have brought a little bit of heaven down to earth and I've unleashed kindness into the world. That's the message of Abraham. This happened to me repeatedly this past week. Somebody in the community, they messaged me that their father unfortunately needed a kidney, and God willing, he'll have a refuah shalema, speedy recovery. And instantaneously, I decided to send it to somebody who I know had a successful encounter with a kidney transplant. This person is living out of the country. Within minutes, they responded to me, and they said, I think I can help this person. And then within minutes, I put those individuals together. One moment in time can then create a chain effect of more perpetual kindness and love in the world. Another instance happened. I was away to shul this coming Shabbat morning, and I walked through the church across the street, St. Bridget's. And there I see the pastor, who's a friend of mine, Father Ed McCauley. And he was telling me, what are we going to do on Christmas? How are we going to have so many services? And I said, we had that challenge on the high holidays. They're creating smaller services with social distancing and figuring it out. And then I told him about something we're doing this Thanksgiving, and wherever you are, you can do it too. I said we're going to thank our first responders on Thanksgiving morning. We're asking people to bring food and treats and thank you notes to the Stanford Police Department, the fire department, the EMS. And I said to him, would you like to be a part of it? And he said, sure, he would want to be a part of it too. All on my way to shul. All because we engaged in a conversation, more of that light was illuminated into the world. And God is saying to Abraham, and he's saying to all of us, he's saying, bring into the world perpetual kindness. Don't wait. And this is also something that King David says to be asked, but ask ourselves every day, what can I do to anticipate these? What can I do to activate this light in the world, these acts of kindness? And in that way, we will make sure that today is a day of future memory. And that's the secret of life. If we ensure that we are putting it out, that we are finding ways to create impact, if we are bringing more kindness and light to the world as Abraham did, then no day will go to waste. Then today will be a day that we can truly transform into something not only extraordinary, but something which is eternal. I encourage everybody in their own communities, if you're interested in doing it, please message me, whether it's Thanksgiving or in the season ahead. Be a vehicle for perpetual kindness. Don't wait, anticipate. Hear the voices. Everybody that we meet, every email, every call that we get is an opportunity to touch somebody's life and to make a difference in our corner of the universe. May God bless in each and every one of us. There's so much, unfortunately, to lament in the world. But as Rav Kook said, let's not spend time lamenting the darkness. That's not what Abraham did. He certainly could have thrown up his hands and said, there's no way that I can create impact. But he said, no, I'm going to increase the light. I'm going to hear God's voice everywhere, every time, and every place. And I will do my best to bring more of God's light into the world. Shabbat Shalom, and let's create some legacy today. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.